Hey, how's it going, guys? Toasty Rose here, and today we're going to be doing another AMD versus Intel build. So this is going to be $600, and we hope you guys enjoy.
Roll the intro. Alright, so in the last video when we did a $500 build, Jackson did AMD and I did Intel. So we decided to switch. We're going to do that in every increment that we go up. So I, for AMD, picked the FX 6300, which is a 6-core processor, 3.5 gigahertz. It turbos up to 4.1. That's without overclocking, just the built-in stuff. And it's honestly a really good processor. Jackson's had great luck with it, and it's done really good for him. And for the price of $100, it does good. If you wanted to in the future, my build doesn't include a cooler, but if you wanted to, you could add one and overclock this thing and get even more performance.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to Intel. So I chose an Intel Core i5. Would have gone with an i7, but couldn't afford it. So I got the i5 4460. It's a Haswell, and it's a quad core. It's a 3.2 gigahertz. I guess it could be overclocked a little bit. It actually doesn't even. Oh yeah, wow, barely. Only by 0.2 of a gigahertz there. But obviously it is a quad core. But something tells me it probably would keep up with the AMD 6-core processor, because you guys know how that is, and Intel has all those, you know, extra virtual cores or whatever, and because they're cache and all that. So I'm sure it would keep up pretty well if we had the same type of graphics going. But Matt packed a little, you know, bang up his sleeve, so he's going to show you what he got.
The graphics card I chose was the R9 280X. It comes in at $219, has 3 gigs of VRAM, and is a great card for maxing out 1080p games and just basically running them to their fullest potential. It has... The VRAM helps if you want to play at high resolution, and also it's just a good value of a card, and at $219 you can do a lot with this card, and yeah, it looks really nice too.
Okay, let's go back to Dish. Okay, so I went a lot last time with the graphics card. I got the 750 Ti. It has 2 gigs of VRAM, which is just one less than what Matt had, but it's you know, it's a little bit lower, but you could actually, I think they have the 750 Ti, which comes with 2 fans, and I don't think it's even that much different, honestly. There's a big price difference though, but yeah. So I went with that because I've heard a lot of people have it, and I've heard it's actually a really good card, and it actually has pretty good clock speeds and all that. So, you know, I figured this would be a good combination with an Intel, you know, having a GTX with it. So let's go ahead and go back to Matt's and RAM.
Alright, so for RAM I chose G-Skill Ripjaw's X Series 8GB. I feel like I've chosen it like a majority of the time in this video. But like basically with RAM you can't really go wrong. It looks good, has the cool heat fins on it, which are really unnecessary, but it looks pretty cool. It rocks 1600 MHz speed, and it is just fast RAM at 8 gigs. That's really all you need for this kind of system, so it does the job.
And I got 128 gig. No, I'm just playing. I got the exact same thing, actually. And by the way, Matt and I don't tell each other these builds. That's just, you know, how you know. Once you build computers for a while, you kind of realize RAM's really not that big of a thing unless you're into aesthetics or you're just going all out. Pretty much 8 gigs is just like, you know, the benchmark point where it's like you're never really going to use over 8 gigs unless you're doing something really crazy. But by then, you probably have a high budget if you're doing something crazy. So that's just how we did that. Let's go back to Matt's, and he's going to show you guys the hard drive.
Alright, so I decided just to go with a plain old hard drive, and the reasoning behind this is just to set you up for the path of doing an SSD boot drive eventually in the future. You could go with a hybrid drive, so I'm going to give Jackson with that. It was a good idea. I didn't choose 250 gigs though. I did choose a terabyte. But
for the same price.
Apparently it's the same price on Newegg. I don't understand.
Oh, 750's more.
What? This makes no sense. Okay, so yeah, I got a 1 terabyte drive.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. At first I thought your internet was about to break out. I thought I heard voice skip, but we're all good. I got a hybrid drive. Same amount of storage, just 1 terabyte, but hybrid drive obviously is a SSD and hard drive in one. So you get about, you know, I kind of rate it at half and half, as in you're halfway between a hard drive and an SSD. So you get that fast boot time and, you know, the fast performance with your OS that you would have with an SSD, and then the good amount of storage for the price of a hard drive. Yeah.
Alright, so my motherboard is a Gigabyte AM3 Plus motherboard, has USB 3, HDMI, it's micro ATX, and it basically does the job. It also has integrated graphics. That's really good for troubleshooting if you have an issue with your graphics cards. You can just like boot in with some video and go into like a normal environment without your graphics card. So if you're trying to troubleshoot if it's working or not, it's a good thing to have. But yeah, it's a nice looking motherboard. It has decent colors, all that gold, you know,
Gold
bling
capacitors,
bling.
you know.
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of that brown black mix. It's all right. It looks pretty good, but it works for what we need in this build.
Okay, let's go next. Okay, I chose an MSI H81. It's obviously the new, you know, Intel platform. It's 4th gen ready, and it can take up to 16 gigs of RAM, but it only has 2 slots. But it can only take up to 1600 megahertz speed anyway, so probably won't be doing anything crazy with this motherboard. Hopefully it wouldn't. And yeah, it can do a lot. It's Pro. It's MLG. Look at it. It's very small though. It is really small. Okay, and Matt's last things.
Okay, so I found this bundle on Newegg that had a power supply and case combo. So you see the case first. It's a Thermaltake Versa. It's a mid-tower with a window. It's black. It has a lot of room, and it'll basically do the job for this build. Has that clear side panel. Looks real nice. And then the power supply that comes with it is a 650 watt Thermaltake power supply. It's 80 plus bronze. It'll work really well for the system. Everything will it'll work fine. And it's 80 plus bronze, so it's a plus, and it's not really cheaped out. So, you know, it works. Yeah.
And for my power supply and case, I chose a Corsair CSM series. It's a 450 watt. It's modular. It's 80 plus gold certified. Pretty much everything you'd want, especially for this price. Now, it's not a lot of wattage, but it's definitely enough to run this. You know, you can always upgrade in the future if you wanted to, but for this price though, I actually haven't really seen modular ones that are name brand like this, like Corsair, for actually this cheap. So, also, for my case, you know, mine's not a bundle like Matt's, but still pretty cheap. For the case, I did go cheap with it. I bought a Deep Cool Test. Yeah, I'm not even going to say any of this because I've never heard of it. It has rubber coating though. You know, it's not that bad of a looking case. You got to remember, case is, well, essentially just to protect your components, but you know, you can get nicer cases if you want. It does come in different colors. It has this one with the side panel, which is out of sale, so you can't get that. But then it does have white, which this one's a nice plain but clean look if you wanted it. And it's a mid-tower, so you could put, you know, a full ATX board in it if you wanted to. It does have, so it says that it has extra room for, you know, your graphics cards. So, you know, overall for 30 bucks, I'd say it's a pretty good case. That's just me.
Yeah, those are builds. Overall, in my opinion, I think my build has the better graphics card, so maybe a little bit slighter gaming performance, but his will be better for just like editing workloads with the Intel cores, because they're a lot faster. The single cores are a lot faster than the AMD, even though the AMD has a lot more cores. The single cores on the Intel are faster, so it'll work pretty well. Honestly, both builds are really good values. Leave a comment below on what you think. I think Jackson pretty much agrees with that.
Yeah, that's about what I'd say. You know, it's Gucci. It is. It really is. That's my input. That's all I have to say for this video. Peace out. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You know what? Bye. We're leaving.
Maybe. Not yet.
Not yet.
We're close. We're walking out the door.
Do you guys want to talk?
Yeah, let's just have a talk about life.
So how are you guys doing right now?
Yeah, like tell us about how you all are doing. Like, I know you all are just staring at this computer screen right now. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, seriously, put that bag of potato chips down. Like, come on.
Killing Floor 2 though. Speaking of Killing Floor 2, we're gonna have some gameplay uploaded soon, so stay tuned for that.
I should make a video on how to organize your desktop.